This is Waltz of the Wicked for cello. Our goal speed for this one is 128 on the metronome. For this recording, I'm going to play at 92 for a practice speed. So violins and violas come in. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1. Now bass takes over for pits. When we come back in 4 measures later, this is some back and forth pitsing. It's going to be easier without your bow. Eventually we might have to, when we get to the second page, work out with partners who's going to pick up their bows when. So I'm going to start right here to play this. You got to set your first finger and kind of push it down on the G string, D string, without bumping A. And then you got to set your finger here. That's the first one. The next note, you can use your first finger when you're coming back, and you have to have your first finger set on the G and D strings, but not on A. And then reset that second finger. So we're gonna go left, right, left. All right, so that's the first 2 measures. Then for the measure with quarter notes, we just play a 4th finger, all strummed with your thumb. All right, so starting here, this should be measure 47. 1, 2, 3, 1. but here at the end, we're gonna have an accelerando. So from where the coda starts up to 103 is steady, same tempo we've been playing. At 103, the tempo is going to start to speed up. The violins are going to be playing eighth notes, so you will be able to hear that 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and. So you have to be counting along so you can jump back in at the correct speed. So I'm going to start at the coda and play through to the end with that accelerando. And then I want to look back at measure 31. This is where we have the measures that are eighth notes all slurred together, and we have a little shift up to second position. But once you get the hang of this here, these notes repeat at 71 and at 76 in the pit section. So leading into measure 31, we have those eighth notes. We're gonna do a little shift right there. So after the D, E, instead of playing a second finger, we're gonna slide and put our first there and play 1, 3, 4, then stretch our first finger back. So shift. Now, in measure 31, those notes are all in first position. Same with the second measure. For this second measure, it might be easier if you set your first finger down across both strings so you're not trying to hop. Now the third measure is where we're going to shift. Shift. The way that we do that, second finger on the C. When we go to the open A, you're going to replace your second finger with the first finger. Stretch your second finger up to the tape where your fourth finger normally goes. Then 4, 1. Shift, stretch, then shift back. So again,